Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business. So I've always wondered, why do some people consistently make good decisions, those ones that drive them towards more and more success, while others seem to constantly derail themselves? Instead, we know those folks. That's why I am absolutely thrilled to be joined by Jane Frankel, a business author, lifelong educator, workforce consultant, and successful entrepreneur. And today she serves as the managing principal of the Art of Performance LLC, as an adjunct professor in economics at Temple University, and she has a new book, The Intentional Mindset, Data Decisions in Your Destiny. Jane, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Shalom. I'm delighted to be here.
Absolutely. So I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone, the person behind the book. Jane, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you sort of caught that bug of the art of performance.
Well, I do think that performance is an art, and it's different for everyone, and so that takes some creativity, and that's really what my taking control of your life and responsibility for that creativity is what I think is done by creating an intentional mindset. I'm a teacher at heart, and have explored all different avenues and different environments to be a teacher, from public school teaching to creating education and training programs for the private sector, being software and IT companies, and teaching at the university level as well.
Wow, fantastic. So, I mean, if I were to sort of summarize everything, it's don't leave, success to chance. And I know, again, through your experience as an educator, again, as an author, as a consultant, and as an entrepreneur, you've been practicing what you preach, the intentional mindset. So, Jane, let's talk about that. How does mindset connect to mindfulness?
Great question. Mindfulness is something that there's a lot of publicity around it these days about being observant, being aware of their environments and things that are going on around them. Something that I really had no clue about as I was growing up, and so I really appreciate building that. That mindfulness allows you to develop the awareness that brings you to your mindset. And I define your mindset as having four components: your goals, your values, which set a platform for your beliefs, which are your biases, and we all have those, and your mode of work. So you deliver on your beliefs, on your goals and your values through your beliefs, biases, and your mode of work. And of course, you can change those based on your awareness and continuing to develop that awareness so that you are always matching up those four components. Because if you truly believe something, but it's in conflict with a goal, well, then you are inching towards derailing your success. Once you've defined those four components for yourself, you really need to put some energy into checking that they are valid with what other people see about you, or how they contribute to the success or failure of your work or a project. So it's really it's kind of scientific, but very accessible to really determine: do I believe and do I value what I think I value? Are my goals really what I'm working towards in a hierarchical way? Am I applying the learning goals that I need to work on to get to my performance goals of achieving something? So the learning would be, in the case of running a marathon, if your goal is to win the marathon, well, then you really have to back up and say, what do I need to learn? What are my goals in learning that are going to allow me to win that marathon? They would be different if your goal was to just participate and get to the end of a marathon. So there's a structure and a strategy for how you actually identify your mindset. We all have them. It's a matter of are they serving you well, and how do you make sure that they're going to be serving you well? And when you do that, you have created a sense of autonomy for yourself, which is extremely important in the 21st century knowledge economy, because as we know from all the workplace challenges and the abundance of data and information that is available today in the knowledge economy, we really have to be very independent in our work as autonomous knowledge workers, but also we have to recognize that autonomy is not just independence, it's dependence on people who are going to be, I call them your stakeholders, anybody who can help you or impede your progress towards your goals. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm chatting with Jane Frankel, again, the author of The Intentional Mindset, Data, Decisions, and Your Destiny. Really, really interesting in understanding being autonomous in this knowledge economy. And it's something that I know you've been studying for quite a while. So, Jane, what's that one takeaway that you want our listeners to have, a homework assignment, if you will, of how, again, they can maybe make some progress in the weeks and months ahead?
well, the main thing that I and really inspired me to write this book is that I believe that everybody can be in control. Everybody can have that sense of autonomy of being independent and dependent jointly. But what I really would like to inspire people to do is believe in themselves that they can do that, and that they are not totally dependent on anybody for their successes. They are independent primarily and just controlling the dependence on other people as needed.
And we're going to continue talking about that when we come back after this very quick break on Get Down to Business, continuing our conversation with Jane Frankel. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Hey, we're back on Get Down to Business. You can always subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Just search for Get Down to Business. Makes it really easy. We're continuing our conversation with an incredible author, educator, consultant, and entrepreneur. That's Jane Frankel, and she is the author of The Intentional Mindset, Data, Decisions, and Your Destiny. And again, as we were just saying a moment ago, of ultimately you don't want to leave, again, success to chance, and we've been talking about autonomous philosophy, being autonomous in a knowledge economy. So, Jane, really appreciate you coming on. So, I mean, the million-dollar question over here is, how do you determine your mindset?
You determine your mindset by looking at the decisions you've made recently and the results of those decisions. Were you happy with those results, or do you think you could have done better, or do you see that had you done something in your behaviors or in your decision making differently, would the result have been more desirable or less desirable? So analyzing that kind of backwards with a tool called the 5 Whys, where you look at what the result was and why you decided to do the things you did along the way getting to that result. Did they, and if it was a good result, well, you want to make sure that you continue with those goals and values that shaped those decisions. Your mindset shapes your decisions, which really controls your destiny. So if you aren't in control of your mindset and analyzing it continuously, then you should get to good decisions that will result in the outcomes that will be deemed successful for you.
And Jane, we only have a few more minutes, and I want to talk a little bit about learning and performance goals. Why are they important, and what should our listeners know on those really important topics?
Well, the autonomous knowledge worker is a lifelong learner, constantly interested in inquiry. Tell me more. Try and keep your head in the game as to what you don't know or what doesn't make sense to you or what does make sense to you. That's all about continuous learning. If you continuously have performance goals, getting an A in a course, getting a raise by a certain date, if it's just all about performance and you're not thinking about what you need to learn and inquire about in order to get to that performance goal, or you don't take the performance goal. You don't make a performance goal because you're afraid of failure. Well, then you will not learn anything along the way. So learning is probably more important actually than the performance goal, because even when you fail, you have to go back. You should go back and say, well, that was interesting. I didn't see that coming. What did I gain from that? What did I learn so that next time or in other situations I can apply that learning? So learning is really very important, and will, if applied through your mindset, it will lead to achievement of performance goals. But performance
Excellent.
goals alone will just not get you to where you want to go.
Well, Jane, I've really enjoyed our conversation. I want to make sure our listeners can find your book and, of course, get in touch with you. How can they do that?
Okay, well, the book is available on Amazon. It's called The Intentional Mindset, Data, Decisions, and Your Destiny. It's available on Amazon. It's available at the publisher Business Expert Press. My website is www.artofperformance.net. That's my company. And my email address is Jane H. Frankel, JaneHFrankel @artofperformance.net.
Fantastic. Jane Frankel, thank you so much for joining us and inspiring us on the program. Can't wait to have you back on real soon. That's a wrap for us here on Get Down to Business. Again, get on my website, syklein.com. Get on your favorite podcast app. Search for Get Down to Business. But to success, have a great week ahead. Let's get down to business.
Thank you, Shalom.